G'day, this is Captainoob and this is an M249. This is a highly customizable standalone squad automatic weapon with custom sounds and reload animations. So this thing uses the same animations from War Daddy's MG42, which don't particularly line up well with the M249, but it does well enough that I probably won't be complaining about it too much. If you've got more of an eye for detail for reload animations, you might want to give this one a miss, but honestly, it's not really to its detriment. The fact of the matter is it's got reload animations, which we haven't seen for an M249 type weapon. We've had that for the M60 and the MG42 at this point, but the M249 is new to get the animations. I originally did one, I think. It was from Modern Firearms, and it just had the assault rifle reloads, which was major immersion breaking, but now it's back in standalone form with lots of customization, and it isn't part of the Modern Firearms, which makes everything super overpowered and just breaks the balance. But regardless of that, if we go into the attachments, you'll probably find that this follows a lot of the same beats as the MG42 itself, with the basic sort of attachment setup for standard to advanced receivers here, which is fine, but now we're doing 274 damage with the advanced receiver, which is incredibly powerful, and you can increase the barrel length a little bit. Unfortunately, it doesn't increase the range, but it makes it slightly heavier and gives you a little bit of stuff that isn't changed by these numbers, so better hipfire accuracy, which is strange because generally in video games, shorter barrel makes hipfire accuracy better and extra accuracy when aiming down sights. That's not too bad. And you can change the scope on this or the sight on this depending on what you want. So I'm going to go with, let's go with glow sights on this one. And the muzzle, you can chuck a suppressor on here if you want. We'll leave the suppressor to a different version. We're going to make this one loud and proud. But with Ace Operator, that's almost pushing 350 damage, which is incredibly powerful, especially when we've got a magazine size of 200. That's crazy good. And you can change the stock on this. So if you want this to be like the paratrooper version where they have the short stock, so I guess they can parachute with them, it doesn't get in the way, doesn't thump them on the way down or something, you can have that either unfolded or folded, which is pretty cool. This one gives you superior recoil and better aim with scopes. Looks like it's nowhere near as comfortable though. I don't know. If you actually use this weapon IRL, let me know what that's like. I'm actually interested to know. And you can change the ammo type of this. It'll actually change the texture on the magazine here, so you can have AP rounds for improved armor penetration, don't lose damage, so pretty decent gainage of damage there if you don't want to make this thing fire explosive rounds, which is basically the explosive legendary thing, or incendiary rounds, or plasma infused, which is the plasma infused legendary effect there, adding a little bit more and they basically turn them into hit scan plasma gun sort of things. But yeah, they've all got nice little effects onto them. Let's chuck on the incendiary rounds and we'll leave it at that. And if the damage isn't quite doing it for you, and if it isn't, well, you've got some sort of mod on that makes you do fuck all damage, you can push this between 0 and 90% or 99% more damage, which is good. And you can fold the bipod down. Probably just a cosmetic upgrade, but since it's there, why not, eh? And you can change the color of the laser. Does absolutely nothing unless you actually attach a laser. So you can attach a laser and a flashlight or both, and you can have the flashlight there with the laser not activated, or you could have the flashlight or the laser there without the laser being activated. It's a little bit of a cosmetic thing, but it improves the hipfire accuracy whether it's got a laser or not, so you know, whatever that's worth. If you like that, then you go ahead. Let's chuck on the laser sight and give it a red laser, because why not? And a legendary effect slot is there if you need it. At 274 damage, probably won't, but ooh, I also like how the ammo has blue tips for incendiary. That's interesting. Alright, I'll create another one of these, then I'll see you where we usually shoot people. Alrighty, so here we are outside of Immersive Gunners Plaza, gonna storm the fort with my M249. First thing you'll notice about this is when you aim down sights, it's misaligned, which is... it's not ideal, but the sights aren't really that good anyway, and that's... It kind of gets magnified when you start shooting this thing, because it'll bounce around all over the place with visual recoil. It makes it very hard to actually see where you're shooting, and there's also clipping with that foregrip there, but you know, using the MG42 animations, you'll find that the barrel and the foregrip is a lot skinnier on those. So yeah, the animations would line up perfectly on an MG, but it doesn't quite work out for the M249, which is fine. But moving over to this one's got a see-through scope, which I have problems with. I'm not really a fan of see-through scopes because all of the visual recoil present when using reflex sights are magnified. Also, it's really nauseating using this thing when moving, so don't do that. Fortunately, you can just aim down sights if you want to get an accurate target of where you want to shoot, and the hipfire too is actually really good, even with steady hands, so nothing too much to complain about there in terms of its accuracy. It's just that aiming down sights and using this thing in first person is going to be a little bit of a drag. So whilst we have the element of surprise on these gunners, I'll take them out, and I'm using some of these hit marker sounds and the little kill feed things of making the Battlefield 1 noise, which I like Battlefield games. It's actually where I first learned of the M249, and back in Battlefield 3. And whilst everyone's sort of getting in front of me like this, I'll take the opportunity just to shred everyone with this. I'm not really being pushed. I'm kind of sitting pretty at the moment behind the tree, so I'll keep on sitting here, and if they want to rush me with grenades and everything they can, I'm going to switch over to this one since I don't have to go through the reload animation. This one is fully loaded. And yeah, if you want to run around with this thing Rambo style, you can super do that because the hip fire is really good. So if you want to fire on the move, not that it'll be too much of a detriment to you if you don't fire on the move, because enemies, I mean, the AI aren't the cleverest thing in the world, but you know, if you want to learn to fire on the move, maybe use some skills for nuclear winter if you're playing Fallout 76, then a little bit of training wheels never never goes astray. So you'll notice how this thing is actually really accurate, and it's not firing as fast as the Battlefield 3 variant did. I think it's firing about the standard rate of what the weapons would fire. Ooh, I'm being shot at and sniped. That's okay, I'm in nerd rage now, which is going to absolutely destroy everyone, and this is kind of the sweet spot when it comes to weapons like this, because it's going to be a slow motion reload. When you are in nerd rage, it's kind of do or die, so having a large mag capacity like that in slow motion just allows you to absolutely destroy everything. Fortunately for me, I managed to kill most of my threats before I went into nerd rage, so energy shield's holding up, and I don't like mod my game to have like super impressive armors. Like if you were in the vanilla game and had the what's it called, the military outfit, ballistic weave, and the armored battle fedora or whatever the fucking thing's called, you'll find that you'll have a much higher resistance. It's just that when you get to level 123 like I am now and have X amount of endurance, you'll have 1200 hit points, which means it'll take enemies a long time to actually do anything. If I was actually playing this legit, that would be even worse, because you need to be around level 300 to unlock all the perks. I'm kind of halfway there with these characters now, but I've just kind of modded myself to have all the perks, so, you know, I could be even more tanky. Resistance is futile, gunner. And yeah, I've been trying to get rid of all of this really bad stuttering that's been happening. I've allocated more RAM to the game, but that doesn't seem to work. I think the main thing is that the game wants to be on an SSD where everything can be loaded much quicker just because of how they're designed. I'm not actually sure how it works. I just sit here, hey, SSDs are quick, so use them, they're good. And yeah. Anyways, room breach. Kick the door open. Room breaches are a lot easier when they come at you with their fists rather than rifles to shoot back at. Did we actually even take any damage during that? I don't think we did. Energy shield's got to recharge because of the level up though, so there you have it. The I keep saying MG42. The M249 just absolutely destroyed everything. Possibly overpowered, but I am playing on very hard difficulty, so having weapons do that amount of damage is out of the ordinary. It dropped. Okay, now it's gone back to normal. I think it had the nerd rage damage value showing for a second, but 343, that's a nice Halo reference there, but yeah, it's a lot of damage for, you know, the amount of damage potential this thing has. Also, flashlights, I should show that off. Okay, I'm going to use the scoped one with a suppressor, but I'm not going to use the scope because the aiming down, or the hipfire accuracy is too good. Look at that, just two-shot at a super mutant warlord. Now, we are still playing during the day, so the stealthiness isn't going to last for that long, but whilst it does last... Now, super mutants are quite tanky lads, so the ability to kill them this quick is a cut above most things. You'll never see a vanilla assault rifle killing them as fast as this, at least without, you know, just shooting them without the use of a suppressor and sneak attack criticals and all the like, but yeah. I do believe this is regarded as a heavy gun, so, you know, having a suppressed heavy gun whilst possibly overpowered. Okay, I needed to aim down sights for that guy, but yeah, having that extra range is good. And since it is a see-through scope, if you ever feel you're in close quarters and you need to, you know, be a little bit more accurate with it than you would with a scope, well, you can just switch to third person and shoot things with that. And whilst there's a little bit of momentary downtime because the super mutant is hiding in the change rooms, I guess it's kind of rude to walk in on him there, but he's a super mutant. He doesn't deserve any human rights, the green fuckhead. Anyways, so moving on here, and we've got a couple more muties up here. It's not a very expansive cell like the super mutant place in Fallout 76, but it's a quick run through. We get the idea of what this thing can do. And then there's just an anticlimactic room full of rad roaches and doggos that kind of show up. Sometimes they're legendary. They're not loot lockable though. Hopefully the hit sounds and the Battlefield 1 kill noise that it makes is not too distracting, but I kind of like those mods. It turns Fallout 4 into a shooter, which is completely the opposite of what it's, you know, wants to be. It's supposed to be an RPG, but fuck it, I make the rules. I get to mod this thing. Alright, there's a crab over there. I'm gonna shoot him with a scope, but not actually with the scope. I'm just gonna get him from here. Can we do it in one mag? Let's find out. Probably not. So, it doesn't seem to be as stealthy as rifles with the suppressor, which I guess kind of makes sense. I mean, he was receiving all of his pain from one specific direction. I feel like he'd figure out what was shooting him eventually, but regardless of that, we still killed him with very relative, like, does she look like she's breaking a sweat? Because she's not. But before I jump to any conclusions, I think we could probably test whether this thing's a commando weapon or a weapon of the heavy gunner variety by observing how much this guy staggers, which is to say he's not staggering, so this actually might be a commando weapon after all. Anyways, we'll keep on shooting the bastard, and we'll hop over this fence just to break his pathing before landing and walking back into the fence because, I don't know, maybe the smell of gunpowder makes her lose her balance a little bit. Anyways, we'll keep on shooting him, and he seems to be kind of stuck in this perpetual dodging state, which is stopping him from attacking me, which is useful because he hits very hard, especially when he mutates. He like one-shots you. Okay, it is time to use VATS, I think, because I'm out of bullets. If I was a little bit more efficient with my ammo, I would have killed him without having to use VATS, but a little bit of an anticlimax at the end of that. But I think you get the point, and it's raining. Yeah, Fallout 4 likes to rain quite a bit, actually. I'd like to install mods that makes the weather clear all the time, although having the weather effect makes it feel more immersive, right? And that's something that mods want, right? They want to be immersive. Speaking of immersion, why should I be seeing the enemy's health bars above their heads? It gives away their position. Maybe there's some sort of secret HUD that is integrated into all of the technology. The technology that gives my angels the energy shields. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll make that lore up on the fly. Anyways, so I think you get the point of this weapon. It's been a blast to use, and whilst it has its problems here and there, mainly the not lining up of animations, possibly overpowered, and the thing not being as high quality as I've seen with other mods, it's been a real good thing to use. So if you'd like to see this particular weapon in your game, look in the description. There'll be a link down there. If I find an Xbox port to this, it'll be down there as well. But I don't know, this one's kind of new, using Ward's at his animation, and I don't think he likes consoles all that much. He never used to release his stuff on the console, so I'll have a look. Hopefully it's there so you can use this. It's not too high on the old data, so it's not actually a terrible package either. It's always nice when a weapon mod has comparatively low megabytes compared to something else. So yeah, be on the lookout. Thank you for watching, guys.